Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So I want to talk about how I was able to build up my net worth faster using real estate. So obviously when you buy real estate, there's four ways to make money from real estate. Number one is appreciation, right? So this is kind of either natural market appreciation or forced appreciation by doing value add. So typically it's like renovating a property for a single family home, for example. You renovate it up and it'll increase the after repair value. So you forced appreciation, right? Natural market appreciation is like in California, I didn't do anything, and over time, the neighboring houses sell for more and more, so you get that appreciation, right? So there's market appreciation as well as forced appreciation. And I made a lot of money in equity both ways, right? So in my single family homes, for example, I bought my first house hack in 2017 in Livermore for $800,000. Fast forward to today in 2024, it's now worth about $1.3 million. So that's $500,000 of equity, and I did nothing, right? It's just natural market appreciation because all the neighboring houses were selling for more and more, and I just held onto the property, right? In my 26 unit, so this is commercial real estate with a commercial loan, and the value of commercial real estate is based on the net operating income divided by the market cap rate. So what is the net operating income? It's the income minus expense, right? And then from there, that's your net operating income. So for example, the average rent from the prior landlord was about 350 bucks a month, right, per door. And after renovating these units for about $10,000 each, I was able to raise the rents to $700, which is market rent today in Oklahoma City. So because I was able to double the income, my net operating income doubled. So if I doubled that, it doubles the value of the apartment complex. So if I bought it for $500,000, I put in $300K of renovation to renovate all 26 units, and I was able to. So I'm all in for 800K, but I was able to double my net operating income by doubling my rent, right? From there, it's now worth about $1.6 million. So not only do I get cash flow from the property, it's now worth. I forced $800,000 of equity, which is like close to $1 million, right? So that's two ways to force appreciation. That's the fastest way to building wealth. Is you want to buy good deals under market value, so you're buying it instant equity day one, but also having the ability to force appreciation by doing renovations to raise the rents and to bring it up to market standard, right? So that's the fastest way to build up your net worth is buy it right, instant equity day one, and have the ability to force appreciation through renovations. If you do that, that's where your net worth will start to snowball, right? So remember, I made most of my money through appreciation, right? Like I just right there, my first single family home appreciated by $500,000. My second single family home appreciated by $500,000. My third house hack appreciated by I got for about 700, about a little under 800,000, and now it's worth about 1.2. So that one appreciated by $400,000. My Huntsville, Alabama single family home, that one appreciated by about 60, 70K. My 26 unit, I was able to force about $800,000 equity. For my 20 unit, I was able to force around $300,000 worth of equity, right? And then my stocks that I own, just kind of compound over time, right? I just maxed out my 401k for like 11 years. I'm going to be talking about that, and that just compound over time, right? So that's how I made most of my net worth, right? Keep in mind, it's paper net worth, right? So I don't get it until I sell a property, right? So I'm trying to think of my next moves I want to make as I simplify my life and as I prepare for me to transition down to part-time working or to retire fully from my pharmacist job, right? So I'm thinking of which property do I want to sell so that I can take that equity to pay off my primary residence, right? So it might be one or two properties, and what moves do I want to make, right? So appreciation is how I made most of my money, to be honest, right? Most of my net worth is through real estate appreciation. The next way to make money is depreciation of real estate. So there's tax benefits. Honestly, I haven't really benefited from this much because I'm not a real estate professional status yet. But once I am married and my fiance is part-time or I'm part-time, then I will qualify as a real estate professional. So what happens is those paper losses from depreciation can wipe out my active income, so I get a nicer check from Uncle Sam, right? So for example, if I make $100,000 W-2 and I have $100,000 of depreciation that I can write off, then I basically wipe off my W-2 income, and assuming I'm taxed at a 25% tax bracket, I'm getting $25K from Uncle Sam when I file taxes in April, right? So I haven't really utilized this strategy yet because I don't haven't benefit from it. It's mostly been appreciation. The next one is principal pay down, right? So principal pay down, it is nice, right? Like out of all my, if you factor all my monthly rents and my monthly principal pay down, I roughly get around $8 to $10,000 a month in principal pay down a month, right? So every month my net worth is increasing on paper by about $10,000. So in a year, it's 120K just by principal pay down, right? So this one, how it works is in the beginning of the loan, it's mostly interest, less principal, but as you go down the loan maturity, it becomes more principal, less interest, right? So all my loans are new for the most part. So it's mostly interest and a little bit principal. So for example, if my mortgage is $3,000, $1,000 goes to principal and $2,000 may go to interest, right? That's typically how it is. It's even worse for apartments, right? Apartments, it's like mostly interest. Like I think I pay $2,600 a month for my 20 unit, and only like $400 goes to like interest. The rest is, or $400 goes to principal. The rest goes to interest, right? So yeah, like you said, I make some from that, and then the last one is cash flow. So recently for cash flow, I am cash flowing about $10,000 a month. So obviously that increases my net worth. But as you can see, on a monthly basis, most of my net worth is from the appreciation, and a lot of it is from the forced appreciation, right? You don't want to depend on market appreciation. So that's how I was able to build up my net worth to $6 million since 2013, right? Most of it was recent from 2017 all the way to today. Obviously, during COVID, interest rates dropped, and when interest rates dropped, people were starting overpaying for properties, which raised the values of those properties, right? And I was lucky. Who would have known, right? Not only was I able to refinance to lower interest rate to save more money, but also the appreciation was insane, right? Like my first, second, and third house I bought, they went up a lot in value. I also bought I was able, because of the appreciation that built up, I did a cash out refinance, pulled out a bunch of money, and used that to leverage to buy an apartment complex, which I bought with $250K of instant equity day one because I bought it off market. And I had the ability to double the rent so I can double the value of the asset, which is what I did, right? And what I described earlier. So that's kind of the power of real estate and letting that compound over time, right? Like I didn't do anything special. I just bought the deal, held on to it, rented it out, and it appreciated, right? That's the pros of being in California, which is more of an appreciation market, but it's not sustainable, right? Like when I'm ready to step away from my W-2, I'm going to lose my source of income, which is supporting my portfolio. Then I'm going to sell some of the assets and trade it for cash flowing real estate in Alabama or Oklahoma, right? And that's what I plan on doing when the time is ready for me to step down to part-time, right? So when I'm ready to go down to part-time, I'm probably going to sell one of my single family homes, use that equity to pay off my primary residence to lower that expense. And then after that's done, I'm going to reassess, and then most likely I'm going to sell another single family home, probably one in San Francisco, take that money and transfer it into Huntsville, Alabama or Oklahoma City as a 1031 exchange and use that to buy another apartment complex, right? Or buy more single family homes, right? That cash flow more, right? So that's what I want to do. Like for example, my San Francisco house, I get $7,000 a month, but if I can trade that into more cash flowing assets, then why not, right? Like I could scale that way. So that's why I said, like, I call California or high appreciation markets, they're like piggy banks. You save your money there, then when you're ready to use it, you crack open the piggy bank, then you transfer it to cash flow. So what builds net worth the fastest is appreciation, right? But you don't want to depend on that, right? So because I have a high income W-2, I'm just focusing on appreciation, right? And I'm also focusing on building my business, which is for more cash flow. But when I'm expecting my cash flow to go down, right, by stepping away from my W-2, right, then I want to focus more on cash flowing real estate and not so much appreciation, right? So because I want to replace my half of my income, right? So that's what I mean by real estate gives you the options. So I know a lot of people do that, right? They buy some single family homes here, let it appreciate, crack the piggy bank, 1031 exchange that, and go buy a bunch of cash flowing real estate in Huntsville, Alabama, right? Like imagine for me, if I had $1 million in equity, right, from a property that only rents for $4,000 a month, I could use that to literally buy like 3 Alabama homes cash that rent out for $2,000 each. But since they're owned free and clear, they're probably going to cash flow like maybe 1,800 bucks, maybe like 1,500 bucks a month, right? Each times three, so that's $7,500 a month in cash flow. So I went from breaking even essentially on $1 million house that rents out for 4,000 or $1 million equity with 4,000. Now I'm cash flowing $700 a month, right? But those 3 Alabama Huntsville properties are not going to appreciate as much as California, right? So that's why you want to take some chips off the table. So like for me, I would sell one, take some chips off the table, pay off my primary residence, lower my expense, and then trade up that property to get more cash flowing assets. So that's the optionality of real estate, which is why I love real estate, right? So the key is get started, and the fastest way for me to get started was the house hack, right? So anyways, if you hopefully you found value from this video, let me know if you have any questions. If you're looking to buy your first multifamily deal with some guidance, check out the mentorship program down below. Otherwise, let me know if you have any questions. Please like, comment, subscribe. I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.